Alright, hi. This is a short introduction to GDES73 Digital Photography online at Mission College. So I'm just going to go through the syllabus. There are a couple of parts of the syllabus that are not specific for the video, just because things change a little bit. So make sure you check the current version of the syllabus for the class so you know exactly the details that may have changed. Things change sometimes, right? Okay, so let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys, just so you can see a little better. There we go. Okay, so my name is Mark Garrett. My phone number is 408-855-5293. That is my office number. You can leave a message there. During the summer, probably not a good idea to leave a message there, just because I may not be into that office phone that often, but there's other ways to get a hold of me, which we will talk about. Email, I prefer you go through Angel, which I will talk about in a minute, to send messages, but my regular email is there too, mark.garrett@wvm.edu, or also mark.garrett@missioncollege.edu works, I think, now too. Office hours, just check the current syllabus to make sure what's going on as far as office hours. It depends if it's summer. I don't know when you'll be seeing this video. If it's summer, fall, spring, office hours change. Same thing for the location. Usually in summer it would be online, would be the office since you're in an online class. But my regular office at Mission College is now GC321B. That would be where you could find me during office hours for fall and spring semesters. But again, in summer, I probably won't have office hours in that office. Final date and time, check the current syllabus for that. We often have a little final exam, but that would be on the current version of this syllabus. So this is kind of a generic syllabus just for the orientation, so you know what's going on a little bit. We'll be using Angel to facilitate the class. That's our course management system. Your username is your student ID, and your password is your birthday, unless you have changed it. I think it resets to your birthday maybe every semester, but I may be wrong on that. So you can log in there to see your assignments, notes on your assignments, lectures, grades, etc. You can check your grades there. I'll show you that. Also, make sure to read the general class information in Angel for this semester. You will see it, and there's also a link to Angel support with help using Angel. Let me show you Angel real quick. So here's what Angel looks like right now. If I log in with my student ID, or my ID, I'm not a student. Well, sometimes I am. If I log in with my ID and my password, and then I will see something sort of like this, and then what you do is you click on the class. Here's the class, or a version of the class anyway. And there's a few things that I would show you here that you might use or would want to use for the class. The calendar is where I will post things like due dates for assignments. Mostly that's what I post there. And then any quizzes or anything like that. But quizzes are generally taken whenever you want. So mostly just due dates for assignments. Under lessons, let me go to a different view for this so you can see what a student looks like. Under lessons, that's where you will see some links to some different things. You can see there's a link to send me a message there. I'll show you that in a minute. You can check your messages. You will see announcements there. When the class is actually running, you'll see a list of links to the videos and the instructions page, and also the weekly folders for the class. So you'll see that under lessons. So most of the stuff that you'll use in Angel is under the lessons link. Under resources, when the syllabus is available, it'll be right there, but I'll also probably email that to you, but the syllabus is usually under there. Under communicate, you will see different discussion forums and also this course mail box again here. If you do want to send me a message, all you need to do is click on quick message here, and then up here where it says to, it kind of works like email. You click on to, and then you can do Garrett for Mark Garrett, and then there's my name, see, and I checked that, or my name, yeah. Click on to, and then say OK, and then that will address it to me. And after that, it's just like sending a regular email. You put a subject and your contents there, and you click send. So that's how the messages work inside of Angel. Often you will get comments on your assignments through Angel as well as Angel messages. Most of the time, but not all the time. So make sure you check the grades too for that. I'll show you that. So that is the how to send me a message if you need to. There will be a discussion forum listed under here. What I'd really like you to do, instead of sending me sort of general questions or questions about assignments and things, I'd rather have you post them in the discussion forum. That way everybody can see them and not just me, and somebody might have the same question. So if it's not a personal question about something specific to you, then I would rather you post the question in the discussion forum, which will be showing up here. It'll also show up under the course link, I think. So that is communicate section. Under report is where you can check your grades. So to check your grades, you would click on this category drop down and choose grades, and then it will show you, I think, your name there. It's a little different because I'm an instructor. And then over here on the right, you click on run, and you will see your grades and the comments for your assignments, if there are any. There almost always are. They may be shorter, they may be more long, depending on the assignment. So that is how you check your grades. Go to report and then choose category grades and click run. You may have to put your name there, but I think it shows up as your name already. I think that is it for Angel. Again, you click on course over here and you can see kind of a heads up display of what's going on and things like that. Okay, so that is Angel. Also, another website link that I'm going to talk about or show you real quick is my Mission College portion of my website. So that looks like this. And here you can see my schedule. That will change, obviously, depending on the semester. There's a little Facebook feed. I'll show you that, too. You can see links to the classes and other things like a login for Angel is there. Discounts on software. We'll come to that, too. But here's all the classes there. Links to different classes in case you're in a different class of mine. When you go to the actual class page, it looks like something like this. So you'll see this is the class instructions page. Obviously, it'll be different for your semester in class, but it has links to the video tutorials, which I'll show you in a second, links to Photoshop help files and things like that. Then you'll see the weekly instructions, and basically that is where all the assignments are. Detailed instructions about everything, assignments, reading, all that kind of stuff, and you'll see it's broken down by week. So that's pretty self-explanatory. There's also some links on the side for different things. The video page kind of looks like this. You probably already seen this, right? And you've seen this already, but this is what the video page looks like, and then there's the orientation for this video. Wow, that's kind of circular. And then you'll see all the videos posted later for the different subject matter. So that is that, but you've already kind of seen that, I think, since you're watching this video now. Okay, so we went through that, and the portal you probably have also seen. If you go to Mission College's website, which is right here, and then you can click on portal here, that is where you can add classes, and you know all that already, I think, because you've added this class, maybe. Also, you can search for courses here, so you click on that link and then you can search for courses. We have a lot of other courses in the department, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and take a look at that. That's probably good on that. Okay, so let's get to the nitty-gritty here. So this course focuses on photography as a creative medium. Emphasis is placed on aesthetics, composition, content, and the technical and creative design skills required to create effective digital images using digital cameras and a variety of software packages. We'll talk about software in a minute. You'll also critically evaluate photographic images according to the principles of photographic theory. Sounds bad, but really you're just going to be looking at photographs and talking about them, including your own in the class and things like that. You must have access to a digital camera. We'll go over that in a second as well. Pass, no pass option is available. If you want to take the class as pass, no pass, or credit, no credit, you need to fill out some paperwork with admissions and records. The instructors no longer have anything to do with that, but you should be able to go to admissions and records. You might be able to download the form, but basically you fill out a form and say that you want to be pass, no pass. The way that works is if you get enough points for a C, you will get credit for the class, and if you don't, you don't get credit. The good part about it is that you don't have, it doesn't affect your GPA at all. So it's just credit or not credit. So that is that part. So general class information, definitely check Angel for updates on this info. It might change. Like I said, the syllabus will be under the resources tab in Angel. Lessons are under the lessons tab. Hey, that makes sense, huh? Read the weekly instructions first. So every week, usually near the beginning of the week, I'll post the weekly instructions for that week, and you can see them there on the page that I showed you, which is this page, which you've already seen, I believe. Yeah, because you're on this video. Here's a link to the page. Again, that might change, but probably not, but it could change. Usually update that page, the instructions page, once a week. Definitely would like you to post questions in the discussion forum rather than emailing me. That way you can see other people's questions and see other people's answers, and other people can see your questions and maybe answer it for you. So I do want you to try to answer questions from other students if possible, and that just increases involvement in the class and makes us more of a community. It's a little hard online, right, because you don't really see each other. But it's good when people start discussing things in the discussion forum. For most of the assignments, you will be able to take a look at other people's work in the class. There may or may not be another forum available just to evaluate other students' work. You'll see that in lessons if it's there, and I'll post that too. You're going to use the critical evaluation skills that we'll talk about in the class. Take a look when you can, and we'll also post some. I'll have you post some of your images to Flickr as well, and we'll go over that. But that way you can see what other people are doing in the class, and you're not just working by yourself and think that I'm the only person looking at your images. Your discussion forum posts and replies to other students is part of your grade, so make sure you're involved in there. Here's the link for the video lectures page, which you've already seen because you're watching this video. Watch the video orientation. You're already doing that right now. Wow, that is kind of redundant, huh? Check the syllabus for access to software and discounts on software if you wish to purchase. That does change a little bit, so I'll show you currently where you can get software, but again, it might change, and check the current version of this syllabus to make sure that it should have current information on where to buy software. We will use Photoshop quite a bit in the class. It's not really a Photoshop class, but it is Photoshop. Photoshop relates obviously to photography, so we will use it for that. And I'm actually going to add right now in front of you guys, we will also, live typing, use Lightroom. So a lot of photographers use Lightroom, a lot of photographers use Photoshop, a lot of them use both. So we will do some stuff in Photoshop and some stuff in Lightroom. I used to only require Photoshop, but things are changing a little bit. A lot of photographers do a lot of their work in Lightroom. You can do most of what you need to do in Lightroom, but there are some things that we do that can really only be done in Photoshop, at least in this class. I also used to just require Photoshop because I didn't want you to have to buy Lightroom, but now they're pretty much bundled together, and I'll show you some options for that are current during this video. But really doesn't cost any more to get Photoshop and Lightroom instead of just Photoshop. In fact, it's kind of a package deal now. So check the calendar for due dates on your assignments. I'm going to get to the software in a minute, so hang on for that. So again, the calendar has the due dates. Homework is due before midnight on the due date. So basically 11:59 on the day that it's due is when it's due. Homework is only accepted for 1 week past the due date, or 1 week, yeah, 1 week after the due date. Notice how I put that in red. That's very important. It does lose 20% of the possible points, so you'll have a slight, 20% penalty for late assignments, but definitely turn them in even if they're late, because 80%, is better than 0, obviously. Work will not be accepted more than 1 week past the due date. Really kind of are no exceptions for that. The reason for that is if you wait and try to do everything at once, it doesn't really work. It's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for me. Just try to keep up. And again, you have, sometimes I know something's going to come up and you're going to be late maybe with something, so you do have a week after that due date. But really past that, don't go past that, right? So this is kind of related to Angel uploading files. You'll kind of figure this out, I think, when you do it, but make sure when you upload files to the Dropboxes in Angel that you click the upload button before you click finished, or it won't upload your files. Generally, you turn them in as attachments to your Dropbox submissions. So I have the files for the Kelby book can be found here. Assuming that we are still using the Kelby book, check the current syllabus for that. The books kind of change frequently, so that's why I have checked the current syllabus. There's new versions of Photoshop and Lightroom and the books all the time, so I'm not even going to put in what's current as far as the books go. So check the current version of the syllabus, which you should have gotten before you saw this video probably. When you are turning in assignments, and there's more than one file, it's a good idea if you put all the files in a folder and zip the folder. To zip a folder on a PC, you create a folder and put the files needed in it. Then you right-click and select Send to, and finally compress folder. It may be a little different depending on which version of Windows you're on, assuming you're on Windows on a PC, but you'll probably figure that out. On a Mac, you can Control-click or right-click on the folder and select Compress to compress it as a zip file. And then I have instructions for individual assignments on how to turn them on the instructions page. You will see that. Don't forget, you can check grades and comments on your assignments in Angel under the Reports tab. Again, to check, you log into your class, you click on the Reports tab, you click on the drop-down menu that says Learner Profile, I think it says. Then you select Grades and click on the Run button on the right. So you probably, like I said, will get messages when I submit grades and comments for assignments, but sometimes you probably won't, depending on how it was input and on the assignment maybe. So make sure you check that using this method. You can check your assignments and your comments and grades and things. Make sure you use the right Dropbox for the assignment. That's kind of obvious, I guess. I'm going to skip a little bit of stuff here and try to get through this here. So student learning outcomes, you'll learn how you'll be able to apply the basic principles of photography and image processing to create effective visual communication projects. And you'll be able to critically evaluate photographic images according to the principles of photographic theory. That sounds a little bit scary. What it really means is we're going to try to learn what makes a good photograph. And that will help you look at other people's photographs and look at your own and maybe see how to improve them, or what makes them good, what makes them not so good, that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about the basic principles of digital photography, obviously, critically evaluating photographic images. We'll talk a little bit about historical traditions of photography and look at some other photographers. It's always good to look at the work of others, and prominent photographers did learn things and see how people do things. We'll do some image manipulation. That's the Photoshop and Lightroom stuff. Let's see, I'm going to skip a little bit. You can read this definitely on your own, right? Let's see, a lot of these technical things we will cover: focus, focal length, visual angle, distortion, depth of field, etc., etc. If you know some of those, great. If you don't, I assume you know none of them. That's what we're going to be learning, so you'll go over that kind of stuff. We'll talk about picture composition. By the way, I know I'm talking a little bit quickly during this video and some of the other videos, but the great thing about these videos is you can pause them anytime you want. So if you need to listen to something again or watch something again, definitely pause, and then you can go back and check it out again. Creative image manipulation and special effects. We'll talk about software a little bit, obviously. We'll talk about digital cameras, obviously. We'll go over how to use your camera. That is one of the most important things that we'll do early on. Let's see, anything else here? I think we've kind of covered that stuff. So software, we are going to use Photoshop and or Lightroom as applied to digital photography. Some of the videos will kind of be Photoshop oriented, some of them will be Lightroom oriented. Like I said, photographers use both now, so it's a good idea to know what you would want to do in one application and what you would want to do in another. This currently is a good place to get the software Like I said, this may change, so check the current syllabus. Let me show you what this looks like right now during this video. So this is collegebuys.org, which has student discounts for software, really big discounts actually. So I'm going to pretend I'm a student here and go to student for customer type. I'm going to choose California for my state, assuming you're in California. And then I'm going to pick Mission College for my school, since that's the best school on this list here. And then I'll click Shop Now, and I see a bunch of HP stuff. Oh, I don't need that. What I need is some Adobe software. So I'm going to go to Software and go to Adobe here. And waiting for my slow internet connection. So here is what we kind of want to look at. So you have a couple of options. Here you have the Adobe Creative Cloud for students. It's a 1-year subscription. Currently it's $169 during this video anyway. It's $169.99, which is for a year. And with that you get pretty much all the Adobe Creative apps. Not quite all of them, I don't think, but almost all of them. And that is a lot of stuff. That's Photoshop, Lightroom, Illustrator for illustrations, Dreamweaver for websites, InDesign for page layout. I know some of you might not need all that, but it's really great actually that you can have access to all those if you need them, like if you're in another class or you want to do other things. If you strictly want to do the stuff required for this class, there is, I think right now, here's the Lightroom. Hold on, I'm just going to pause just for a second and find the one I was looking for. Alright, I'm back. No time passed for you, it's like time travel, right? So I have, for some reason I had to do a search for Photoshop right here to see the other option that I wanted to show you, because it didn't show up on that first page. But here's the other option. This is the Creative Cloud Photoshop photography plan for students and teachers. This one is $119.88, and what that includes is just Photoshop and Lightroom. So if you just want Photoshop and Lightroom, it's going to be about $120 during this video anyway. Of course, this could change any second. It does all the time. And then, like I said, the total Creative Cloud is like $169. So it's almost like, why not pay? I mean, if you have the money, of course, another $50 or so and get all the apps. But you definitely could get away with just doing this. There is one more option if you look up online, and this changes all the time too. So I'm just going to look it up live here. Creative Cloud Photography Plan for students, and you will see I think it's right here maybe. Yeah, so here's the current page. Again, this changes all the time, and the location of this page changes, so I'm not going to give you the URL. But if you look up Creative Cloud Photography Plan or Adobe Photography Plan, you will find it. So here's the one I'm talking about. This is monthly, so instead of paying $120, you could pay by the month. I think it's $10 a month. So if you're taking this class in summer, or if you just don't want to keep the software for a whole year, you could do it this way, and it's $10 a month, which is probably about as cheap as it's going to be if you only want to do it temporarily. So that would only be like $20 for summer, or $40 or $50, I guess, for a regular class. So if you want to do it that way, you can do it that way. All right, so that's probably good enough on the software. Again, check the syllabus as far as specifics for software, because that may change anytime, like I said. Okay, so Creative Suite CS6 was the last version that could be purchased as a package, meaning if you don't like to buy a subscription, you're kind of out of luck now. You might be able to find CS6 somewhere. That's the previous version before all the cloud stuff. That was the last shrink-wrapped version you could buy, like on a DVD or a CD. I think it was a DVD. But they don't really market that anymore or sell that anymore, so you'd have to find a used version of that. You might be able to get away with using that version, Photoshop CS6, for some, I have most, but some, or maybe most of the class exercises and assignments, but it does change rapidly. So if you use an older version, it may look like the videos, it may not. Some of my videos are a little older too, because things change. Parts of the software change and parts don't relatively or significantly so. You'll see different versions of the software even in my videos, but it is changing rapidly, like sometimes multiple times in a year. So required text. So again, check the current syllabus. I'm not even going to bother putting the text on here because it changes rapidly. So check the current version of the syllabus for the text. Materials, really you don't need much besides, well, yeah, I guess you do. You should have some sort of flash storage, and really, what I really mean by that is make sure that you have somewhere to back up your images, and you probably can figure that out yourself. But if you only have one version of one copy of your images and it's on your camera or it's on your computer, you're really at risk for losing that, right? Your hard drive dies, your camera card dies, whatever. You've lost your images, so back up your images somewhere on some sort of external drive at least or something. You do have to have access to a digital camera. I will go over that in just a second. And Photoshop and Lightroom, like we said. Really, what you're looking for in a camera, we'll go over that now, is you want manual controls. So what do I mean by that? You want to have the ability to shoot aperture priority mode and shutter priority mode. Now, those probably don't make much sense right now, but any camera will list if they can do that or not. It means you have more control over the settings on your camera. It's not just a point and shoot, which means you just, like most cell phones, right, have a camera where you just click the shutter, click the button, it's not even a shutter, and it takes a picture. You want to have a little more creative control than that. So you want a camera that has aperture priority mode and shutter priority mode. If it has that, you're probably fine. You'll see other videos that talk about what features to look for and things like that, but that's really what you're looking for. As far as camera reviews, where I would send you, or like buying guides kind of thing, I would send you to the site called dpreview.com. There are others, but this is a really good one, dpreview.com. And they have reviews of every camera and lots of lenses and all kinds of buying guides and articles and stuff. So you can check that out when you get a chance if you're thinking about buying a camera and you don't already have one. All right, so I think that is pretty good. Oh, as far as the software goes, there may be a lab on campus with the software to use, such as the Academic Support Center. Their lab hours may change, or they do change often, especially in summer, so check with them and or me on availability. What that means is we have a lab, often have a lab on campus that you can access. If you cannot buy the software in any fashion, you might, I'm going to say might, be able to go to the Academic Support Center or another lab to use the software there. But again, it depends on their hours and the availability of the software there. So that's kind of an emergency thing. All right, grading is based on when your assignments come in, obviously, and the quality of your assignments. Again, I reiterated that you need to turn everything in on time or you lose 20%. And late assignments are accepted for 1 week after the due date. Basically, the point breakdown is typical. 90 to 100% is an A, 80 to 90 is a B, etc. One more thing on the pass, no pass, or credit, no credit. You do need to do that fairly early if you're going to do it. I think it's within the first 30% of the class. So do that right away if you do want to be graded pass, no pass instead of with a grade. The rest of this I'm not going to go over because you probably all can read this. It covers things like class attendance, angel information, cheating policy, code of conduct, disability statement. If you are disabled, contact DISC, which the number is there, and let me know as far as if you need some sort of accommodation. Usually that's more for in-person classes, but yeah, that information is there. There's safety and emergency information, but that's mostly applicable to in-person classes, tutoring information, things like that. Okay, I think that's pretty good on that. I did want to show you a few more things on a couple of resources and the websites, just in case you needed to see that. So this is the department website. It's missioncollege.org/department/GDES, and that is where you can see all of our programs and classes. You could go under graphic design, for example, and see all the classes required for the graphic design degree or certificate. Also, there's a gallery, and you can go down. Right up here is the gallery right there. you can go down and see examples of photography. Hey, so here's some examples from previous classes from the photography class. So some pretty good stuff in there, some fashion. And we do all kinds of photography: landscape, fashion, objects, black and white, all kinds of stuff. This is compositing. We'll do some compositing probably, put some images together. Photoshopping is the term that people say. So that's that. That's the department website. This is the department Facebook page. Of course, we have a Facebook page. And you could like that, and you will maybe see some of your images on that page, or announcements, or interesting articles and things like that. So go ahead and take a look at that. If you look at facebook.com/Mission College Design, you will see that. A couple of more resources you might be interested in. This is Safari Books Online. It is an online library that has a lot of the textbooks that we use in our classes, not necessarily for this class at this time, but a lot of them. It is a subscription, but it's kind of cool. It's just an online library that you can swap books out and when you need them and things like that. So take a look at that. It is a subscription. Another resource that you may or may not know about is lynda.com. Lynda.com is lots of video tutorials on software and other things like photography. So that's a good resource in addition to obviously the stuff we do in this class. Another one specific for photography mostly is called Kelby 1. And Scott Kelby is, we often use his books as textbooks for the class, but he also has this website, and it's sort of an online photography video school. Again, it's subscription. At this time, it's $20 a month. So, but they have a lot of good videos by photographers, and similar to the ones that I'm going to give you guys. Okay, I think we went through that. I think we're good. Hey, I think that might be it. So, thanks for listening, and hopefully we'll see some great images, and I'm sure we will. And I'll talk to you later.